We're actually behind the cold front that swept through last night. However, we do have a leftover outflow boundary, and you can kind of see it on the radar. Let me animate it, just kind of show you where that little spot is. But there is a little bit in the way of some outflow that you can just kind of tell along that. And these storms like to have a boundary nearby. That way they can latch onto them and keep on going. And so we are able to see that these storms have been able to take advantage of that. And these little green lines right there, that's actually the outflow that we had from the storms last night. So if you remember here in the metro area, we had those storms come in way late at night. Those were the severe storms that we had earlier in northern Oklahoma earlier in the day yesterday. They were not as strong, but they did leave behind a boundary, and these storms have been able to pick up on that and continue on. And there's actually, as you can see, additional severe thunderstorm warnings that are back off to the east from there across portions of Pontotoc County, and also now getting into portions of Hughes County. These have been kind of individual cells at one point, and they've now kind of converged into one just kind of larger storm. And as we go later on into the evening, again, these will be moving generally out of our area, but as we go later on into the evening, they'll be encountering some really good environmental parameters to take advantage of. And so you could be definitely looking at some huge hail that could be supported with some of these storms as well. So again, we're probably not dealing with these severe storms for very long, but these storms have been able to bubble up right along a leftover outflow boundary. That was going to be tough to know that it was going to be there with our forecast that we had from this morning. Again, sometimes those outflow boundaries, you just don't really know where they are until you can kind of see on the radar where those storms are bubbling up along it, and that's what we have here. So portions of Murray and Garvin County until 4:15 for this tornado warning. Again, we are looking at the areas to be really impacted by this, by the Brady area and Wynnewood, and eventually Joy and Ouachita. We'll also have to be watching out for that too, and as well as Davis too. So these will be spots to watch out for down the line. But you can see it's got that nice classic look to the reflectivity, where you've got the inflow notch coming in right there, and you have your classic hook echo showing up on the backside by Elmore City. So again, it looks like a healthy storm, and it's not only going to be able to produce that tornado threat, it's also going to have the chance for very large hail as well. The overall dynamics of today really support a large hail threat too. So all the more reason to make sure that we're away from the windows and into your safe spots or into that shelter, just getting on that lowest level of your house, because not only will there be that tornado threat, there's also again going to be that issue with the very large hail potential too with these storms. And so again, it's not going to be in our area for all that long, but again, these are spots that need to make sure that we are taking our precautions for. Brady, Wynnewood. I'll take a look at what it looks like on velocity. Again, it's still pretty broad. It's trying to tighten up a little bit more now, just off to the east of Elmore City. Between there and Brady, we'll do another track again. It's about 20 miles per hour to the southeast. We'll go a little bit faster to see if we can pick up on a few more spots. Again, Brady, I should say, 340, Wynnewood at 356, and Joy, if it can go that far, at 4 o'clock. Again, the warning itself goes until 4:15, so we will see how long it is able to go for, but we do know that the overall environment will be able to support supercells in this part of the state, and then going to the southeast. We'll also be looking at, again, a large hail threat with these storms, and that tornado potential will be possible. But again, it's kind of right on the edge of our area. You'll see that what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on our watch product. That way you can also see that as well. So just give me a second as I turn that on. So we do have our tornado watch that is in effect, and those are the counties that you've got there in the yellow. So you can see that we have these storms essentially right along the edge of our big watch area, and this watch goes until 9 o'clock in the evening. So we're really not going to be dealing with these storms for too long before they're out of our area and they move into more of southeastern Oklahoma. But they were able to form, like I said, along a leftover outflow boundary that's actually to the north of the cold front. The cold front is actually farther down to the south, but it's really not all that much of a cold front anymore. And so we thought that maybe the storms would try to develop a little bit closer to that front, so a little bit farther down into the actual watch area itself. But we were able to nonetheless see those storms form along that leftover outflow boundary from our storms that we had last night. And that's why they were able to form just a little bit north of the actual watch area. And now they have moved on into the actual tornado watch. And that watch goes until 9 o'clock for tonight. But again, we've got 2 supercell thunderstorms at this point now. There's been a lot of merging, especially with the eastern storm. I'm going to turn off our watches, that way we can have a better, clearer picture there. But we have had a lot of converging of storms with this one here. So this is now becoming a much larger storm, and this one might be one to really watch out for into southeast Oklahoma going forward, because it's really going to be able to get its act together and potentially become tornadic, or at least hold on to some very strong supercell characteristics. The smaller one back off to the west is a little bit it's again a little bit more by itself, and I think that's probably the reason why it was able to go tornadic. It didn't have as much competition like the other storms did earlier to the east, but again, that's the reason why we are likely looking at this to have the tornado warning on it, and that goes again until 4:15. So again, portions of Garvin and Murray counties until 4:15 with this tornado warned storm. Right now, it still remains radar indicated, and we'll take a look and see if we have any debris that shows up on the correlation coefficient, our tracker there. And so you're going to have the blue that we do look for, but this blue that we have is most likely just the inflow of the dust getting kicked on into our storm itself. So that's probably what we're looking at right there. So I'm not going to say anything just yet about anything confirmed on the ground, but in terms of what it looks like there's a lot of just inflow getting sucked on into the storm right there, and that's what that blue is showing there. But we'll keep an eye on this storm as we continue on for at least the next little bit that we'll be tracking. So again, tornado warning for portions of Garvin and Murray counties. You can also see that we got a new tornado warning as well for, again, not surprising, our big storm. And that does include portions of Hughes County also until 4:15. So you have these two supercell thunderstorms. The reason why we got this new tornado warning, you can kind of see right here by the Steedman area, there is a little bit more inflow coming in there. So these are two storms, at least initially. Now they're kind of merging into one. You can even kind of see the little gap in between them where the reflectivity isn't as high. But we do have storms that are now starting to get a bit more of an inflow notch there. You can kind of see that with our reflectivity where the inflow shows up, and I'm going to circle it right about there. That would be that spot. And then when I take a look at velocity, there we go. So it matches up nicely with what we have for also Hughes County too. So just north of Steedman, we need to make sure that we are also taking our precautions there as well, as that'll be moving on off to our east and southeast movement, probably also around 20 miles an hour. Let me get to double check on that one too. Again, the atmosphere doesn't support our storms to be moving very quickly so for this evening. So I think a lot of these will be moving fairly slow. Yep, this is also a southeast mover at about 20 miles an hour. And again, we also need to make sure that we are paying attention to our large hail threat as well. The hail threat is going to be big time with these storms. So we'll take a track here as it goes into portions of Hughes County. We'll do it right there from the area north of Happy Land, about 20 miles per hour. And so Steedman arrival time at 3:42, JD at 3:52, Citra at 3:55, and Gertie at 4:05 arrival time. So these locations need to make sure that we are taking our precautions, getting down to the lowest level, away from the windows, and riding this storm out as it moves on off to our east and southeast pretty slowly at about 20 miles per hour. Again, it's good for you as it does allow you to have more time to get to where you need to go. But sometimes these slow movements means that, number one, we are dealing with the storm for longer. And then number two, it also makes it a little harder at times to potentially watch out for additional little deviations in the storm motion that we have. So that's also going to be a threat that we're going to be talking about too. Just the overall movement of our storm will be an issue, as there might be, the National Weather Service may have to issue a couple of polygons to cover that storm. So again, two tornado warning storms. We have the one that we have back off to the west. This one is in portions again of Garvin and Murray counties, and that one will go until 4:15, and then we also have this one for portions of Pontotoc County, does get down into Cole County, but also Hughes County for us until 4:15 as well. So both of these will go for the next just a little bit under 30 minutes. And like I said, in addition to our tornado threat, you can really see here that we are talking about some large hail. Both of these, well, there's really three supercells at this point. We have our western one, and then we have the kind of combining ones over to the east there, but both of these are having the chance for very large hail. My radar product at this point is kind of underdoing the storm north of Brady. That one's got the chance for up to tennis ball sized hail, but you can definitely tell, and tennis ball size is 2.5 inches, but you can definitely tell too that we have some huge hail also still showing up with our storms that are farther to the east as well, just north of Ada, and then also just between Happy Land and Sassaquah. We're looking at that to also be another big area there of some large hail. Again, not only is the hail core itself big in size, but just the hail size in general is also really big. And so again, we've got 2 of these big supercells that once again have been able to form in a prime environment, and we've been able to see them take advantage of this outflow boundary that we've had. I'll put a little bit of a lapse on over the past, let's go about hour, and you can see how these storms have been able to evolve in time. These storms were able to form, like I said, along a leftover outflow boundary, and they were quickly able to develop very fast. The outflow boundary came from our storms that occurred last night. So the severe weather that we had, in Enid, and then went into portions of Payne County, where there was another tornado warning last night in Stillwater. Those storms then were able to move eastward, and they faded away as they did so. So here in the metro, we really didn't get a whole lot of rain out of the storms, but they faded away, and then we've now gone into the afternoon hours, and now we've been able to see storms take advantage of the leftover outflow boundary. What's interesting, though, is that the cold front itself is actually a little bit farther to the south of this zone. So despite the fact that the cold front has passed by a little bit, it's not really all that cold behind the front to the north of the front. Little boundary that was able to be seen was all we needed there to get our storms going once again. So again, we're looking at more severe weather across portions of our viewing area. Most likely, though, these storms are going to be moving generally southeast, and then we'll be moving into more of southeastern Oklahoma. But we are still looking at these storms to be producing that tornado potential, a lot of lightning, and also too that hail threat with these storms that are able to produce hail that is easily in excess of 2 inches in diameter. Again, very large hail cores showing up with all 3 of these supercells. And I'm saying 3 because this is one by McCarty and Brady and heading towards Wynnewood. And then we've got kind of 2 combined between Ada and Bing, and then the one that's just off to the east from there that's got the tornado warning. Those are not kind of combined, but they were initially 2 supercells. But you can see just how big the hail is also associated with these storms too. So again, the current time now is 3:41. We have 2 tornadic supercells that we have moving in through portions of our area. One over Wynnewood, and that goes until 4:15 for portions of Garvin and Murray counties. And then we also have for portions of Pontotoc, Hughes County for us, and then also the northern part of Cole County, also until 4:15 as well. We'll go to our Wynnewood storm. Again, Wynnewood is in the tornado warning. The tornado itself would most likely be passing to your south, but I do want to just double check a couple things to make sure the speed has not changed with any of these storms, as they are still looking to be, again, looking at large hail with them, up to tennis ball sized hail, and still moving to the southeast 20 miles an hour. Yep, so the timing has not really changed with really any of these storms, but I'll do another track on things. From a velocity standpoint, not looking to be too impressive there for our supercell, but I'm just going to circle where we have a little bit in the way of some shear showing up there and just double check it makes sense with reflectivity. It does, and so we'll do a track down from the Brady area southeast about 20 miles an hour, go a little bit faster to make sure that we can take some of these, get some of these communities in there. Again, Wynnewood, you are technically probably going to be just north of the actual tornado itself, but you are in the warning polygon, so we need to make sure that we're taking our precautions anyways. Same with Brady as well, because of the fact that this has the chance for up to tennis ball sized hail that could easily be doing tons of damage anyways. So that's going to be able to do a lot of damage to windows, siding, and your roof anyway. So all the more reason to just get down to that lowest level or into your shelter, get away from the windows and in that interior room, because you have that tornado potential, which will obviously protect you from that threat, but also the hail threat too, which we want to make sure that we are trying to avoid as much as we can. So Joy 402, Washita 405, Chigley at 410, and Davis also at 410 as well. So again, we've got tornado warnings there for portions of Murray and Garvin counties for the storm moving there. The tornado itself has not crossed I-35 yet, but we likely have some large hail and also very heavy rain, basically kind of from Pauls Valley south of there. We're looking at the chance for also really heavy rain in this section of I-35. We also have another tornado warning, like I said, that will be going into Hughes County, and that one is going to be over here with this storm. And now, as you can see, it's whatever we are going to be talking about there would be rain wrapped. It's not very apparent what it looks like on reflectivity. Velocity wise, it's right over Steedman, so you need to make sure that we are again taking our precautions there. But as you can see, if I do it from there, zoom in a little bit more and get the track, we'll be able to do that one also for about 20 miles an hour to the southeast. JD, Citra, you guys may be not called in this one. The same thing with also for Allen, but we are still looking at this to also be a rain-wrapped tornado. So if there is, and in fact, this storm has the tighter reflectivity and as well as the tighter velocity couplet. And so this one might be the stronger of the two storms. But Citra 358, Gertie at 411. Need to make sure that we're again taking our precautions, getting down to that lowest level, away from the windows. Not only is there that tornado potential, it's going to be rain wrapped, as you'll see when I turn on reflectivity. We've got, so whatever it's going to be there, it's going to be hard to see. Yeah, so it's not exactly on the edge of our supercell. It's kind of embedded within it, so it's going to be hard to see. And then you also have huge hail also possible with this storm too, as it could easily be upwards of 2 inches in diameter. So clearly we have the environment that can once again support very large hail like we did last night. And these storms, like I said, have formed along a boundary, and that's the reason why they are where they are right now. But we have another half hour of both of these tornado warnings that will continue until 4:15 for portions of Hughes County with this tornado warning that we are currently on, and then also for portions of Garvin County and also for Murray County as well. Going back to our Murray County and Garvin County storm, that one looks to be kind of stretching out a little bit more. Take a look at what National Weather Service chat's saying about that one. Yep, they're also noticing the downward trend in the rotation, so I'll turn that on. Yeah, it's not, we'll go and take a look at what it looks like velocity-wise or reflectivity. Here would be, if it's going to be anywhere, it'd be probably just south of Brady. But when we turn on velocity, it's pretty broad at this point. So this storm, a little bit more on a downward trend as of right now. Like we saw yesterday many times, we could go through some downward trends before it kind of picks back up again. And so we might be looking at this to be doing that exact thing. And like we had last night, when these storms are just kind of getting going, they take a bit more time. So when they're down a little bit, when they're weaker a little bit as they cycle, they're weaker for a little bit longer. And then when they pop back up again, then they're strong and they are able to then cycle. And once we are looking at more of a mature supercell, then it cycles faster. So its downtime is a lot shorter in duration, and it still looks pretty good from a velocity standpoint, whereas this one does not really look like that, at least as of right now. So again, not saying this is done, but it is definitely on a downward kick, at least currently. But we obviously get new updates with our radar every 2 to 3 minutes, and so we'll likely be watching that one too. Again, large hail also associated with these storms, as you can see. There we go. Yeah, our product there now is going to show that in that white zone it's going to be 3+ inches. Again, this is warned for tennis ball sized hail, which is 2.5. So it's actually not really all that far away, which is tough to show you because again, that means there's some big hail associated with this storm. So Brady, you need to make sure that we are again in our safe spot or in our shelter anyways because of the tornado threat, but also because of this large hail threat too. That could easily be doing a lot of damage to not only vehicles, but also to your roof, to your siding, and to the windows, which is why we also say to get away from those windows too. So again, a dangerous supercell, a powerful supercell, one that went up very quickly, and one that went up along a leftover boundary from earlier on last night into this morning. So it kind of shows you once again that today's outlook was really dependent on what happened last night. Whereas when we talk about the severe weather potential going into the weekend forecast doesn't really matter what's happening today. Tomorrow is really its own day, really, is what we're looking at with our forecast for tomorrow. And then the same thing could also be kind of said for Sunday as well. Sunday doesn't necessarily depend a lot on what happens on Saturday. So again, we have today's supercells and our storms are really left over from last night. And so we have our leftover boundary in place from last night, and that's where we have these supercells that have been able to develop. But then tomorrow, like I said, does not really depend on what's going on right now. It's its own beast, essentially. Now, as you can see with our eastern storm for Hughes County by Steedman, now that one has a much more pronounced look there to our inflow. Right there, north of JD, that's really where we have a good-looking inflow notch that is showing up there. So, and we took a look at velocity. Yep, that's where it is. So we'll do another track from there, and it looks good from both storm relative as well as base velocity. So we'll do another track from that spot there. Again, southeast movement at about 20 miles per hour. So JD doesn't show up in this, but you need to make sure that we're, again, taking our precautions now. In addition to that tornado threat, we also have that large hail threat as well. So JD needs to make sure that we are in our safe spot, in our shelter. The same can also be said for Citra showing up, and that one will go arrival time, you're talking about 4 o'clock. Again, the nice thing with these storms is that they're moving pretty slowly off to the southeast at only around 20 miles per hour. So that does mean that you have more time to get to where you need to go. That way you don't forget anything, like don't forget your shoes, don't forget your wallet or your purse. So you've got time to act, but you need to make sure that you are doing that in a calm but quick manner. Don't want to be wasting too much time there. But again, that's a nice thing with our storms, that they're not moving all that fast this afternoon. Again, the current time now about 3:50. We have until 4:15 for these 2 tornado warnings. Our JD storm in Hughes County, much larger area of rotation showing up there on velocity. And then you can see with our Brady storm within Garvin County, that one looks to be not as impressive looking from a rotation standpoint. Even reflectivity-wise, it's not looking to be all that good right now. So still kind of in a downward trend. Again, not saying it's going to go away completely, but we are looking at this to still be a storm that will be able to produce large hail threat anyways. These are supercells, so they naturally do have some rotation with them. So we do need to make sure that we watch and monitor these very closely. But right now, the storm that is over Brady and heading towards I-35 and eventually towards Joy and Ouachita, those are the communities that need to be on guard for this storm to make their way towards you. But right now, it looks to be a little bit less impressive looking on the radar than what the storm to the east does. And I think primarily the reason for that now is even though our Garvin County, Murray County storm it's more by itself, this storm that we have heading towards Citra and JD, that one has what we call a cell merger. And so what has happened is that behind it, we had a cell kind of close on into it, because like I said, there used to be multiple supercells, and now we're kind of just talking about 2. And this is a much bigger one, and it looks a lot messier on the radar. But essentially what has happened is that storm came in behind it, and it nudged it, and that nudge was able to then get us to also get that threat going there. So that's why this one actually looks a bit better now than it did a couple minutes ago when the tornado warning was first issued. So this one likely the stronger of the 2 storms. It's the bigger of the 2 geographically, clearly, as you can see. And we also have a lot of heavy rain associated with them, in addition to the large hail. Both of these are going to have very large hail cores that could easily be in excess of 2 inches in diameter. So again, you can see with our radar product there picking up on, again, that large hail threat, but also too some strong winds. And so those strong winds are going to be associated with the actual either rear flank downdraft, and we'll take a look at what it looks like on velocity. Yeah, so now that looks like it's some surging there, and now you're probably looking at a large area of rotation with potentially a much little tighter core right there by JD. That's going to be really where you'd be watching out for that threat for the tornado. So JD, need to make sure that we're again taking our tornado precautions right now. Hopefully you've been there. You've had now some time to get to your safe spot. But this storm looks to still have quite a bit of strength with it. We'll take a look at what it looks like on reflectivity. That should also kind of line up nicely with where the inflow notch is. Yep, and it does. Sometimes our reflectivity and our velocity aren't synced up exactly. We'll get them in our computer at 2 different times. But again, JD, Citra, Gertie, and also into portions of northern Cole County. But really, though, we're focusing in on Hughes County there. Need to make sure that we are still taking our tornado precautions with this storm. Again, we want to make sure that we're down at our lowest level anyways, because of the chance for very large hail with this storm, easily in excess of 2, maybe even close to 2.5 inches. They kind of fluctuate with all of our warnings that we're getting from them, but we do have a lot of these warnings so far that have been for huge hail, and these storms have been producing very large hail for a while now at this point. So even when they first got going, when they were first little mini supercells, just on the kind of far southern extreme edge of the metro where they were able to form, they had large hail already. So they've already been able to produce a lot of just large hail, and that will also continue to be the threat with these 2. In fact, taking a look at what it looks like with our hail swath, and what this is showing you where the hail has fallen with these storms. You can see that, like I said, it was already into, by the Asher area and by the Winnett area, where a lot of these storms are able to really get going there with that large hail threat. The same thing can also be said too with our storm in Garvin County heading into portions of Murray County. That one got going really just south of Maysville, and then was able to keep on going, producing just a lot of hail. So these are big time hail producers with these storms, and so we again continue to monitor them for the next about almost 20 minutes or so. We'll do more tracks on them just to double check. I believe everything still remains at 20 miles an hour. And let me double check. Yep, 20 miles an hour still to the southeast. So we're still looking at an arrival time there for, again, we'll do it for portions of Garvin County. Just double check to make sure we have any new spots that we can see from a rotation standpoint. Looks to be a little bit more ragged at this point, our storm here, but we will still draw a circle there. It's a broad area of rotation, yes, I understand, but that's a little bit of our inflow showing up there. So southeast from there at about 20 miles per hour does put us Washita at around 407, Davis at 413, Chigley at 414, and then Rayford at 424 if it's able to keep on going and hold on to its strength. Right now, from a reflectivity standpoint, it may be showing a little bit better now, of a little notch trying to show back up again with our hook echo on the back side of the supercell, maybe it becoming a little bit more apparent over the past maybe 1 to 2 scans. So like I said earlier on, this storm has been kind of on a downward trend for a while, but maybe not exactly gone just yet. And we have to kind of watch to see if it's able to kind of pulse back up. It might be in the process of doing that right now. We'll take a look at what it looks like velocity-wise and see. The rotation is definitely showing up a little bit better. It's still broad, but it's better than what it looked like before. So again, we continue to watch that storm, and then we're also watching to the east from there. Again, this supercell thunderstorm that is now looks to be pretty messy. But if you're looking at velocity-wise, it also looks to be messy too. But if you are looking at it, it's going to be probably right there to your west of JD, kind of right in there. But it's a really broad area of rotation. It's going to be probably rain-wrapped, whatever that is. And as you can see, it's also moving down to the southeast at about 20 miles per hour. So JD shows up now about 4 o'clock arrival time. But again, we've been calling your name out for a while. Please be sure that you are in your shelter, getting down to that lowest level and into your safe spot, away from the windows, because again, this has the chance for developing that tornado threat, but also very large hail. Also, a lot of heavy rain too is falling with these storms, as you can see with our reflectivity, those really dark pinks and even the kind of those grays and those black colors there. Really heavy rain associated with these storms too. And then not only are they dumping a lot of rain, they're not moving very fast either. So there's going to be potentially some flooding concerns and some more hydro issues with some of these storms as we go later on into our afternoon, if they kind of keep on going and keep on showing up in these same locations. But I don't think that's really going to be the case. These storms really should be moving to the southeast along this leftover boundary, and also a cold front too. As you can see with our reflectivity, and I'll put a little bit of a loop on things over the past 5 minutes. And you can see that they are now starting to come off that boundary a little bit and move more to our southeast. When these storms first got going, towards basically kind of Wayne to Holdenville was kind of where they were able to first form, some like kind of Wayne to Kanawha towards Holdenville. They were pretty stationary along that boundary. They were able to get that spin to become the supercells, and then now they are on their way down to our southeast, now moving a bit better. So we continue to watch these storms. Let's go now to the storm that's over Wynnewood. That one looks to have a little bit better of a hook echo showing up on it currently. Take a look at what it's looking like for yeah, everything is still showing up there for our tornado warning, and also the chance for tennis ball sized hail. Still moving southeast at 20 miles per hour. So everything still remains on check for 20 miles an hour. So here we go. We'll zoom into our storm that's again within Garvin County, heading towards Washita and as well as Davis, heading right there towards I-35. Taking a look at what it looks like on velocity. Still broad area of rotation, but when you take a look at reflectivity, it does show up nicely there. There's a little bit more of a pronounced little hook right there and a little bit more of a notch going in there. So we'll do our track from that position down to our southeast, about 20 miles an hour. And so you're going to be looking at Washita arrival time around 4:12, Davis at 4:19, and then at Chigley at 4:20. And that'll be more if it moves kind of more straight east at this point. But I think though really it's going to be moving on its way more in a southeast direction like it has been. And I don't think at this point, you know, last night our storms moved in kind of more of a easterly and then eventually southeasterly movement, which is why that tornado threat really then picked up, especially over Garfield County and for Enid. But the overall storm motion, at least initially, was actually to the northeast. So that the overall pattern of our storms last night supported actually a northeast movement, and then the storms that we got then kind of took mind of their own and then moved in the direction that they did to the east and then southeast. And then we've now seen that leftover boundary here. Today, though, I don't think we're going to be talking much more about a lot of that deviant motion like we had last night, where those storms were able to kind of go where they wanted to go instead of being steered by the upper atmosphere. I think today we have a bit more steering that'll be in place to help to push these storms down to the southeast. But if these storms are able to make more of a, for them, a more harder turn to the right, which would take it more to the southeast movement, then we have to watch out for additional strengthening with those storms. But the current time right now is 4 o'clock. As you'll see, we have a couple of counties that most likely have cleared out some of those warnings. And so I'm going to zoom out and just kind of clear the board and show you what we have there. Again, a number of these tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings canceled at 4 o'clock. So now we are left with, again, our storm moving through portions of Garvin County and Murray County until 4:15 to the west. And then to the east, we have it within portions of Hughes County, also until 4:15. That one, as you can see, is a bit more messy. Now, to be fair, we are pretty far away from the radar at this point. So it is going to be a little bit more ragged looking than what our storm is back off to the west. But we do have, again, that embedded circulation that would be near the Citra area and north of the JD area. That's going to be where you'd have that potential for your tornado. In fact, as you can see right now, kind of by JD, there's a bit more of that inflow notch starting to show back up again on reflectivity. We'll take a look at what it looks like on velocity. And it might still be pretty broad, and it is, but right there. We'll see what this looks like when I circle this location by JD. Right there. And then take a look at what it looks like on reflectivity. So yeah, we're kind of on the edge there, but in terms of any shear, let's see. Yep, so we've got it showing up there and also a bit farther to the north too, and that would for sure make that one, as you can see, more embedded within this. So there might be 2 areas of rotation embedded within this supercell thunderstorm making its way into Hughes County. The main reason why that would be the case, though, is that this was initially multiple different supercell thunderstorms, and they've now come together. So there's still some interaction going and merging. Even though the storm itself looks to be one big blob right now, there is still some internal mechanics going on in place to try to get the storm to organize into one big one, and it hasn't done that yet. So it's just trying to figure itself out. But there might be some areas, additional areas of rotation that we're watching out for. So it makes sense we're going to hold on to that tornado warning again until the 4:15 time frame for portions of Hughes County. And this is the southern part of Hughes County. So Citra is in it, Gertie is in it. Rock Creek, you are not within this. It's just south of Allen, going until 4:15 for the next 13 minutes. We'll have that storm out there. Taking a look at a few different things there. So this storm is a little bit out ahead of the boundary that we've been talking about, and you can kind of see with our radar, there's a little bit there in the way, some of those little green little splotches showing up kind of right there. That's primarily where this boundary is. Now, our tornado warning storm that we have within portions of Murray and Garvin counties is very, very close to that boundary. It's actually technically a little bit closer than what the other one is in Hughes County to the east there, despite what I drew. So it's actually a little bit closer to where the boundary is in place. And that's the reason why this one still could keep on going for a little bit more, despite the fact that it's not as robust looking as the one off to the east. But as you can see right now, we've got that inflow notch likely just crossed I-35. In terms of velocity, it's still pretty broad, which is good. But as you can see, it's a very messy look to it. But if anything, you'd be looking at your area of rotation to be potentially at this point now east of I-35. But still moving very slowly to our east around 30 or 20 miles an hour. So Joy, Washita, Chigley, you guys need to make sure that we're again taking our precautions, getting to our safe spot. We've been talking about your locations now for quite a while, so hopefully you've been staying there. But again, the storm overall looks to be a little bit less impressive looking on the radar as well as on velocity, which is good news. But still, though, it's definitely possible, as it is close to that boundary, to pick back up again in intensity. So arrival time for Washita, 4:11, and then Chigley at 4:19. That's what we're looking at arrival time-wise for our storms. Again, Joy is also in this too, right there along Highway 77. The problem, though, with where Joy is located at, we're also looking at that to be where the large hail core is, or at least very close to it. Turning that on, you can see that we're, again, still looking at that to also be a big-time area as well. And that one, as you can see, still is very large on our radar product. In fact, coming in pretty close to the actual warning size of 2.5 inches, so tennis ball size. Our product's coming in at about 2 inches. So it's doing a good job showing us that we have the large hail threat with our storms. There's an enhanced risk from the Storm Prediction Center across this area, but mostly a little bit more southeast from here. And the primary reason why that got upgraded to an enhanced risk was actually the hail threat. So it's not surprising that we are dealing with large hail with these storms. Again, very, very large hail with these storms. So it's not surprising that we have that out there this afternoon. But it was a little bit surprising to see where these storms were able to develop. Now, again, we have about 10 more minutes left of both of these tornado warned storms. Got it for, again, 4:15 there for now. A majority, the storm at this point now, the majority of that is within Murray County. And then we've got within portions of Hughes County, that tornado warning that continues until 4:15. That one, as you can see, has got likely a couple areas of rotation that we're watching for. If anything, this is what it looks like from the reflectivity. It would be most likely in this zone right by JD, which we've been talking about your location now for a while. So hopefully you are still in your safe spot. Again, there we go from a velocity. Looks pretty good there, but there's also a lot of broad rotation showing up further to the north of there too. And going back to reflectivity, you can see that there's actually, that would be rain wrapped there. So there's a larger area of rotation, just general rotation associated with this storm right now. But really though, got to watch out for that area right by JD. That's where you've got likely the best ingredients coming on in, because that's where the inflow is. It's nice and clear south of that storm. There's no competition down there. And so we'll do our track from that location. Again, JD, I need to make sure that we're taking our precautions. Again, 20 miles an hour, go a little bit faster to see if I can catch people in here. Non coming in there at 4:31. However, like I said, Citra, we've been calling out for your name and your spot now for a while. There might still be a little area that's embedded that we need to watch out for. And so you're also probably be looking at an arrival time there in Citra in probably the next about 5 minutes or so. So still, again, need to make sure that we're taking this storm very seriously, get away from the windows, get down to that lowest level. We knew, based on the forecast last night, how dangerous those storms were able to get, especially with the hail threat with some of these storms for today. That's our primary concern that we have. But we saw what the tornadoes did yesterday, and we just want to make sure that we are not messing around with those today. But thankfully, the overall environment for tornadoes is not as impressive, at least right now, as what it looked like last night. The primary reason is, we're a little bit early right now for the actual storms themselves to take advantage of what we call the low-level jet. That's the winds that kind of pick up right around sunset. And so with it being 4:07 in the afternoon, it's a little bit early for us to get the interaction with that low-level jet, which is good. We don't want that, because that usually does mean that it can help to increase the strength. But that was the reason why last night's storms right now would be producing a much larger tornado threat than what we have out there today. Now, as you can see with our storm that's within Murray and Garvin counties, we've got that right there heading towards the Washita area. Joy and Chigley, you guys are within the large hail core there, but is now right around Highway 77. So it's east of I-35 right now, north of Washita. But what I'm going to do is put a track on things, and I think we're going to get a new tornado warning out of this, just because it still looks to show up nicely. There is still a bit of a notch that is clearly visible there, but Washita would be arrival time at around 4:13 this evening. So still have some time there to take advantage of that, but still need to make sure that we are moving quickly and calmly to our safe spot or to our shelter. And also just getting away from those windows and away from those exterior walls, just because again we have very large hail with this storm too. Joy, Chigley, Iona also looking to be, they're in the polygon itself, but really though they are more worried about that chance for very large hail on the northern side of the supercell. We'll take a look at what it looks like from a velocity standpoint. And it's still broad rotation, but it's still definitely present. Anything shear-wise, yeah, it's again kind of right in that area. So we're all pretty close with our area of potential tornado. It would again be over the Washita areas there. And like I said, I think the National Weather Service may give us a new tornado warning that will only be for Murray County. So it's going to pop up here any second. So it's going to likely include Sulphur. It's going to likely include Hickory and Scullin. And then likely, if it's going on its current track to the southeast, we're probably looking at the Doherty area to probably be right on the edge of that polygon. But I would imagine, there we go. So Sulphur is now in this new tornado warning. That remains, again, radar indicated, and that one goes until 5 o'clock. So it goes until 5 o'clock there. So we've got now the circulation on the Pontotoc storm is not as well defined. So they're going to lose potentially this tornado warning on this one. That's good news there. For us, for Hughes County, we just have to watch out for that because that area would be right there at the very bottom southwest corner of it by Citra. But we'll go back to our newest tornado warning as I'm getting some new information there. First off, some good news with the tornado warning now for just Murray County. The hail size has come down a little bit, so storm means radar indicated, but now golf ball sized, still southeast of 20 miles per hour. So storm movement is the same. Our hail size has come down with that, which is good news, but we'll do a track on that to make sure that everyone in the way can get this, especially when it comes to our new speed there. So we'll go a little bit faster than 20 miles an hour just to take advantage of that. But as you can see, we'd be looking at Sulphur arrival time 4:31. So you have obviously a lot of time, but as we know with these storms, we've got the chance for the tornado threat as well as the chance for large hail. So even though you do have some time in Sulphur, we want to make sure that we are again acting quickly but calmly to get to our shelter or to get to our safe spot on that lowest level, away from the windows and also from those exterior walls. And you can see that again with an arrival time of 4:31, you've got 21 minutes, but we just want to make sure that we're using that time wisely and to go where we need to go and just kind of ride it out. Again, you can see that Davis is also in this too. The main area of circulation will be passing to your north, as you can tell there. And Joy, as well as Chigley, you'd be looking at that area of circulation to be passing to your south. So really, it's going to be on the east side of Ouachita, heading towards Sulphur. That's really where we're going to be watching for the best area there of that potential tornado. Again, from the velocity standpoint, we'll circle it right here to kind of show you where that notch was, right there. You'd be looking at velocity-wise, also kind of right about there. So it's not as good looking, clearly, and it also helps to the fact that we've kind of lost some of our intensity with the hail threat, as that has come down slightly. But still, this is a storm that we need to watch out for, again, with the tornado warning continuing until 5 o'clock this evening. Again, velocity-wise, pretty broad area of rotation. I'll clear the board and just to double check there, but I'm not sure that we've seen any damage-wise. Obviously, you can still get damage even on those radar-indicated tornadoes because sometimes we just don't have any eyes on it. But as you can see from the debris tracker there, nothing that really screams anything out, which is good. So, but we'll continue to watch this. Again, areas that are on the east side of the Ouachita area, especially from Airport Road to Sunshine Road, kind of in this area here would be our potential area of tornado right in this area there. And it'll be moving to the southeast at about 20 miles per hour. So Davis, it's going to be passing just to your north. As you can see, they've got a new scan with our reflectivity. Velocity-wise, starting to look a little bit better, maybe just a touch better. So we've got that showing up. But again, 20 miles per hour towards our southeast does take it towards Sulphur. So again, Sulphur, you've got some time there. We've been talking about you now for a bit. 4:36 arrival time. Again, this is going to be kind of fluctuating as we get new information about our storm movement. But clearly, though, you've got a bit of time to get to where you need to go. But still, though, we want to make sure that we're using this time wisely and getting to where we need to go. And this would be located generally north of Highway 7, at least for a little bit until as it approaches the Sulphur area. And that might be still for about 15 minutes or so before it gets a little bit closer there to Highway 7. So we'll watch out for that. This right now remains the storm that has the newest tornado warning on it. Our other storm that has a tornado warning will probably... We only actually have 2 more minutes left of that one, so we will see what the National Weather Service does with that one. Yeah, again, goes in towards 4:15. If anything, you'd be looking at a potential area of rotation to be now into more of Cole County, kind of in the southern part there of that polygon. In terms of velocity, it would also be about there, but it looks to be pretty tight right there by the county line between Cole and Hughes counties. So we'll do a track from there. Also 20 miles per hour. And so, as you can see, we're looking at Parker is the only one that will show up there on this track at 4:43 arrival time, if it's able to, again, hold on to its strength. And again, just south of Citra within the extreme southwestern corner of Hughes County. And we're still looking at that to actually possibly even have tightened up a little bit there in the last couple scans. So we'll see if the National Weather Service continues on with a tornado warning. I bet if they do, it most likely would not include Hughes County anymore, as it is now, at this point, the main circulation area is probably just to the south of the county line, but we'll know in about a minute or so what the plan will be. Again, large hail also being seen with all of these storms out there this evening, as we have the chance for an easily excess of 2-inch in diameter hail that will be possible with our storms. But again, 4:15 is the current arrival or the current timing of this tornado warning. But as you can see, it's kind of tightening up there just to the south of Citra and also just east of JD. These are areas that have been called out before with the tornado warning earlier on when it was closer towards the Steedman area. And now it's making its way into portions of Cole County. So current time is just about to be 4:15. There we go with that. So we will see what we get out of this new tornado warning, if we get one at all. And I would imagine that we are going to be seeing this one is, we'll be watching this one too. All right, so I'm going to clear the board there. So it's gone as of this time. We'll go now to our Murray County storm. Now this one looks to be a bit more impressive than it did a couple scans ago. So just again, north of Davis to the east of Washita. And as you can see, there's our little notch showing up there. Yeah, velocity standpoint looks to still be showing up a little bit better than what it did maybe just a scan or two ago. Again, heading towards Sulphur at about 20 miles an hour to our southeast. So again, arrival time, you're still looking at arrival time in Sulphur. We've been kind of showing this now at this point a couple times, maybe just a little bit after 4:30. So you have about 15 minutes for Sulphur for you guys to get to your shelter or to your safe spot. But again, it looks to be probably tightening up at least a little bit on what it looks like on velocity with this latest scan there. And the National Weather Service does kind of back that up too with what they said, as that one also looks to, they're noticing too, a little bit more tightening, especially higher up in the storm again. All right, so we continue to watch out for the large hail threat too. We'll go and take a look at that, as that's also been showing up nicely with all of our storms out there this evening, or this afternoon rather. Large hail core, and my product's going to probably show this coming in at about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. There we go. So it's still big with the hail. Earlier on, it was warned for up to tennis ball sized hail, so up to 2 inches on diameter. Thankfully, that has come down a little bit. So my product might be just a touch overdoing it, but not by much. It's pretty accurate so far today. And we've got to watch out for that threat too. So the Chigley area, you've got probably a lot of hail falling where you are at, as well as just not only a lot of hail, but also big hail too. The same thing can also be said south of there too, into the east of Washita. That's going to be also the area that we have to watch out for with that largest hail threat going forward. And that hail core will be passing towards Sulphur, maybe potentially just a little bit to the north of Sulphur on its current track. We'll see. But Sulphur, you need to be also on your guard too because of that threat for the large hail threat. So here we go with, it's 4:17 right now. As you can see, the National Weather Service now put out a big, large severe thunderstorm warning that now includes portions of Hughes County, goes into Cole County until 4:45. So that's our newest one there. The severe thunderstorm warning for that one is going to be, let me get a little bit of a new update there. Tornado possible tag with this one. So we are not looking at that one to be maybe as impressive as it looked like before, but it still has that tornado possible tag with this one. But really at that point, this storm is going to be out of our area and will then be moving on into more of Cole County. So really at this point, we'll be primarily focusing in on this storm that is now basically the whole entire storm was almost all included in Murray County. So it's almost entirely within the county itself. You can see that last little scan that we had there with our reflectivity. It looks to be a bit better there with the inflow notch right there. We'll take a look at what it looks like with velocity. Yep, so it's tightening up there as you can tell. So it's still a healthy storm. Again, moving towards Sulphur. And we've got the arrival time there still, it's been about the same. A little bit after 4:30 has been the arrival time for Sulphur. So, and especially as we get towards Highway 7 and then 177, we'll be watching out for those locations too, as obviously those are fairly busy arteries in this part of the state. But again, you can kind of see that that is really tightened up there with that last scan with our velocity, just off to the east of the Washita area, also northeast of Davis, and that will continue again until 5 o'clock, this tornado warning. Large hail also being noted with this storm too. Excuse me. And we've got, again, I'm just checking a few things here off screen. Yep, so they're still watching that little core there that's trying to strengthen back up again. Let's take a look at what it looks like from a debris standpoint, if we're able to see anything noteworthy there. maybe a little bit there, trying to show up right there. Possibly looking at something there with our debris tracker. We are able to see, if I do a little bit of a lapse, we'll be able to see if we can follow that little spot. So it's pretty much just right there where we get that new scan, right there. And so there might be, that's also again an area right by the inflow too. So there might be an area there that's picking up some dust. Again, that would make sense. But still, we're gonna watch this storm closely because it's been on a downward trend for a while, and now it's been ratcheting back up again the past few minutes, heading towards Sulphur. Again, big supercell that is capable of producing large hail and that damaging wind threat too, especially on the backside of that with the reflank downdraft. You're probably looking at that to be the case by the Ouachita area with the strong winds coming out from the storm. But there might be some good inflow going into the storm where I have it circled there, and that may have been what we were kind of seeing there with our debris, maybe some dust and some dust getting picked up into that storm. But right now it remains a radar indicated tornado warning until 5 o'clock. Sulphur, again, we need to make sure that we're taking our tornado precautions. The timing usually has been after 4:30 with our past few scans. We've been calling your name out for a while, so hopefully you continue to be into your safe spot. But just double check what it looks like velocity-wise. Okay, now it's broadened back out again, so it's still definitely showing up with our inflow notch currently right there, but it has broadened out a bit more velocity standpoint. So again, it's kind of just cycling up and down in intensity. Yeah, Sulphur is still showing about 434. We've been seeing 434 now for quite a bit. So we will continue to watch if there's any change in the speed or direction of this storm. But again, if you're in the Sulphur area, you need to make sure that we are taking our precautions as it is heading in your direction with a chance for large hail and that tornado threat moving to the southeast at about 20 miles per hour. And we've got to make sure that we are away from the windows on that lowest level, away from those exterior walls, because again, not only does this have the tornado threat, the hail is big with this storm too. Right now coming in, it's down a little bit from where it was earlier on, but we're still probably looking at it at least to be up to golf ball sized hail. So that's still enough to do quite a bit of damage. Maybe not as big as what it was about 20 minutes ago when it was closer to 2.5 inches, but we are still looking at the chance for some large hail to be making its way towards Sulphur, maybe even passing just here north, but it's going to be close. So again, make sure that we are taking our precautions right now, as again, we're looking at the tornado warning storm to still be ongoing until we get to 5 o'clock. That's when our polygon expires, our warning expires, but Sulphur itself will continue for the next 12 minutes. Arrival time there for you. 4:34 is your arrival time in Sulphur from this potential tornado that we have moving off to the southeast. So we also continue to watch our storms off to the east from there too. As you can see, this is just a bigger storm now at this point. Most of the heaviest rain is going to be now into portions of the southern half now of Hughes County and into far northern parts there of Cole County. That's really where most of our heavy rain is going to be. And in fact, as you can see, we do have a area flood advisory that's been posted for this storm as well, and that goes until 7:30. So it does include the Kanawha area, it does include Vamusa, Sassacua, and then it goes actually into the severe thunderstorm warning itself. So Allen is in there, Citra is in there, Happy Land is in there, even Ada is in there too, because of how much rain these storms have dropped too. So that's going to be another problem that we have with these storms, as they are slow movers, only about 20 miles an hour to our southeast. We're also going to be looking at a lot of heavy rain coming in out of these storms too. So that flooding threat will also be a major concern going forward. Now again, at least these storms are moving a little bit more, as you can kind of see with our laps. They're not totally stationary, which is good. This is just over the past 15 minutes. But we will still need to be obviously keeping a close eye on our hydro issues in these storms, because as you can see, especially our eastern one, it's just a big storm in general. So we continue to watch, again, these two storms. The bigger one to the east has had the tornado warning earlier on that's been allowed to expire, as it now looks to be a bit more disorganized. But our lone supercell, which is still by itself, continues to keep on going as it heads towards Sulphur. And you also have, again, as you can see, a lot of lightning with that storm too, and that chance for hail is also big with both of these storms. Again, even with this smaller supercell, the large hail is still a potential issue with that one. All right, we continue to see the storm that is in Murray County. And let me put a stop on our laps, turn off our lightning. So the storm in Murray County at this point, National Weather Service is saying that it is actually now technically has just fallen behind a little bit from the actual boundary itself. So the storm is now just to the north of the boundary. So the boundary, and you might actually be able to tell kind of where that is based on where you have just a couple of pixels of green showing up. This might be the boundary. Again, not for sure, but the boundary is now a little bit north of it, and so we might be talking about it now not being able to latch onto that boundary anymore and to continue with its strength. So we'll see if this storm will keep on going with it. But again, sulfur, still need to make sure that we are taking our tornado precautions. As I zoom in there, take a look at our velocity. We are probably looking at, some strong winds are also making their way there right now. The actual area of rotation that we'd be watching out for would be right here. Maybe even a little secondary one trying to develop on the backside of that too. That would be to the northeast of Davis by a few miles. But still though, from these spots moving 20 miles per hour, we'd be looking still at arrival time in sulfur, 20 miles an hour. Still, again, about a little bit after 4:30 arrival time in sulfur. So we'll continue to watch the storm make their way towards your area. And now it says 4:37 arrival time. Obviously, we've been saying at any time between 4:32 and 4:37. Obviously, the earlier the time, the better. And so we'll be watching for, hopefully this storm to just make its way towards sulfur and kind of fizzle out as it does so. But right now, we are still watching the arrival time to be a little bit after 4:30. So not exactly much more time now at this point to get ready and get into your shelter or your safe spot. Again, from a tornadic standpoint, we are looking at this to be the only storm that we have out there currently that does have a tornado warning. This goes until 5 o'clock this evening. We also have, as you can see, Hickory and the Scullin areas also showing up their arrival times at 4:54. So we will see if it's able to go on that track and that trajectory. But right now, we are continuing with our tornado warning for Murray County, 20 miles an hour. And we are still looking at golf ball sized hail with this new little update that we had there. So overall, things kind of remain the same. The storm itself looks to have now potentially started to move a little bit more to its just a straight east movement. So instead of going southeast like it was earlier on, the latest scan had it coming in more easterly. So we'll see if the National Weather Service makes maybe a little secondary correction. If not, it's okay. Sulfur is still definitely in that. But again, as you can see, that area of rotation will be closing in on the sulfur area in just the next few minutes. Right now, you'd be coming into the inflow notch, at least as of right now. In terms of any damage-wise, we'll go and take a look at that. Probably not looking at, there's some little spots that were showing up right there. But that's probably going to be just your inflow coming on into that storm. As I go back to reflectivity, again, it does make sense where that is, but I bet that it's more than anything likely just a lot in the way of inflow coming on into there. But still, though, nonetheless, we need to make sure that we are taking our precautions with this storm. Sulfur, we've been calling your name out for a long time now at this point, coming in a little bit after 4:30. The current time is 4:27, so you've probably got at this point maybe only about 4 more minutes or so to get to your safe spot, get your shelter away from the windows as we've got this storm that's capable of producing a tornado heading in your direction. Just north of Sulfur, I think, is really where that heavy rain threat and also that large hail threat is going to stay. So if you live north of Sulfur, you might be looking at your main issue to actually be more of that hail threat. But for Sulfur itself, we're probably looking at that to be really just more of that tornado threat with the large hail passing primarily to your north. Again, that really the large hail threat is probably going to be to the north of Windy Hill Road and then north of there, and then also north of the Chickasaw Turnpike. It's probably what we're looking at there for large hail-wise associated with that storm. Other storms that we're watching, that's it. Our storm that is within Hughes County continues to move on until 4:45. Cole County until 4:45 too. So a lot of these are almost out of our area, and then this really should be it in terms of our storms going forward. We do have a little cell that's been trying to go up. I'll see what it looks like with Frederick. We're pretty far away from Frederick, so Twin Lakes will probably still be the one to stay on. But yeah, there's that little rain shower there by Carver and Tatum. There might try to be more development to the west of our tornadic supercell. So there might be the issue where we might be trying to see a few more storms develop back here. But as of right now, it has not really done that just yet. And so we'll see, because really the forcings are much better the farther to the east of I-35 you go. And so it's probably where most of our activity will be. However, we'll continue to watch out for that because, again, our tornado watch, and I'm going to turn that on just that way you can see it. Our tornado watch does include a lot of just southern Oklahoma in general. So it does actually extend back all the way, into Cotton County. So it goes back pretty far to the west from there. So we'll see exactly how much farther west of I-35 we can get development. Right now we have only this little shower, but it might not be in a very good spot compared to all these other storms over here because, as you can see, that's really where a bulk of our watch is, into more of southeast Oklahoma. So again, current time is 4:30. We do have our morning meteorologist, Conrad Sapinski. I saw Conrad just a little bit ago, early this morning. He's back in again. And so Conrad, looks like you've got your mic on. And so if you're able to see anything, just go ahead and just shout it out. But really just we have that one storm in Murray County right now until 5 o'clock, heading towards Sulphur.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Jack here. So yes, we're looking at this tornado warning right now in and around Sulphur. Currently looking at that. I am here tracking it. Of course, we are looking at larger hail once again associated with this. So not only are we looking at this tornado warning that is in effect till 5 p.m., so right around 30 more minutes or so, but then also getting that larger hail, which is also that danger that we have to watch out for, the gusty winds as well. So you could be, 10, 20 miles, 30 miles away from the actual tornado, but then if you get that larger hail, if you get the heavy rainfall, the gusty winds as well, that could bring a lot of reduced visibilities. It could, of course, bring a lot more of a danger itself, but the tornado warning itself is the the most dangerous part out of this whole thing. But as of right now, still moving east around 20 miles per hour here, Jack. Golf ball sized hail. So we are continuing to track a little bit more of that damaging hail as well, and still seeing this being a radar indicated tornado warning.
Yeah, it's radar indicated. We can go to Lynx 1 since Conrad is here and he's driving, so we can switch over to Lynx 1. And we've got, if you could go actually, Conrad, to the debris for the Twin Lakes radar for the debris, because I saw something that I thought was a little bit in the way of debris right there. You can see it's actually kind of right where the mouse is. With that, it's actually not debris. What it is, it's actually the radar is having, there's so much rain with this storm that there's a lot of wind right in here, but there's not any debris right now. So they're not concerned with a tornado debris signature from the National Weather Service office. What they're able to see is actually just a little bit more in the way of just a little pocket there of just really heavy rain, kind of just messing a bit with the radar. So that's some good news there that we've been kind of watching that little spot, but right now it looks to not be of a concern for us. But that's, again, some good news for us on that front. So again, still remains radar indicated, despite the fact that it has, at times we've been looking at there, a little bit in the way of some concerning things, but it's actually just what we call it's de-aliasing. So it's just in the rear flank downdraft is really all that is. So still though, not necessarily saying that this is now a storm that we don't have to worry about, but at least that's at least a good sign there.
Jack, and also geography has a thing to do with this as well. That really depends what kind of environment it is in. It also has an effect if there's a lot of just dust in general in that certain area, a little bit of winds out there, and then all that dust gets picked up very easily once again. But yeah, still tracking this radar indicated tornado warning here, another 27 minutes or so. So we got a little bit more time here.
Yeah, and it's going right over Sulphur. Technically, the Hook Echo itself is going over Sulphur, and if you'd be looking at anything inflow-wise, it would be potentially right there north of Ballpark Road, right where Conrad was just at there. And then it would also be just to the east there, West 14th Street, if it was going to be there. Right now, there has been no indication of it really being too much of a problem. Again, the primary thing you can see there, Conrad's turned on our rotation detector. There's not actually all that much there. And if we go to velocity, Conrad, you can probably see too that, yeah, it's not really all that good looking there for that, which is good news. Obviously, Sulphur was hit by that EF3 tornado a few years ago. We don't want to be talking about them seeking damage, especially after what we had last night. But still, though, the storm is technically passing right over Sulphur right now, so we still need to be making sure that we are taking our precautions. We've been calling for your name now for a while, and that one again goes until 5 o'clock, but we've been calling your arrival time for about 4:30, 4:35, kind of in that window there for a while, and it's kind of right on you right now. So that timing's been very good as it's now making its way to our east-southeast. And technically, earlier on it was moving more southeast, Conrad, as you saw with your last little update that you just gave.
Yes.
It's kind of moving more straight east. So as you have a little bit the lapse there, you can see that it has turned a little bit more to a straight easterly movement, which for the storm itself means that it's turned left a little bit, which usually when a storm turns left, you're not talking about it usually shows signs of weakening. However, it can show signs that it's going to then split, and then you have actually large hail for a little bit before that storm falls apart. But last night, our storms were supposed to move to the northeast, and then those supercells kept on turning to the right, to the right, to the right, and it made a more southeast movement, and that's why we had our huge tornado threat with our storms last night, because it was a right mover. The right movers are the ones that will increase that tornado threat. The left movers, maybe not as much, but still though, sulfur, need to make sure that we're still staying in our shelters or in our safe spots right now, as the area of circulation is passing likely right over you or just to the north of downtown Sulphur. Obviously, a very beautiful part of the state. We've got all the waterfalls and the springs there, and so again, it's a beautiful part of our state, and we want to make sure that we don't have any tornado damage once again in the springtime leading up to what's hopefully going to be a nice summer for us here in Oklahoma. Again, one of the best tourist spots there in the whole state, and so we need to make sure that we are again taking our cover and taking our shelter in our either storm shelter or in our safe spot, away from the windows and getting away from those exterior walls too, because we've been also talking about the large hail threat, which should primarily stay north of downtown, but as you can see with that latest scan right there, that hail core is coming in basically right there on the northern side of Sulphur. There's our hail detector, and as you can see with probably that new update that's just right now popping up, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that now takes it into Pontotoc County. So that, if we go to reflectivity, that's some good news. I can actually look over here kind of to see, because I've got it pulled up, what it's going to say about that one.
Okay, yep. So severe thunderstorm warning here just got posted.
Yep.
It is in effect here till around that 5:15 p.m. time frame. We're looking at large hail up to tennis ball sized
yeah.
hail. So a very large, hail here. Gusty winds, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and it is moving east around 25 miles per hour as of right now, mainly located next to, in and around Hickory at the moment, but the large hail, tennis ball sized, and very gusty winds with this as well. So we'll see. We'll keep tracking it, what keeps happening with this hail. But as of right now, let me actually put on the hail detector here. It does look like, that northern part of that supercell there actually has that larger hail. So we'll see, what actually happens here. I don't think the largest hail is going to pop up here. Let's see, 1 inch. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
1 inch.
Our product actually, before you got encountered, it's actually been doing pretty good at times. It may be a little bit delayed showing some of those big hailstones, but again, large hail still remains our main threat with the storm. And actually, like I just said just a minute or so ago, when the storms turned left a little bit, so again, it was moving southeast, now it's moving straight east. That's a left little turn for that storm. That usually does mean that the hail threat can then come up a bit after that does happen. So again, not surprising that the hail threat has now gone back up to tennis ball sized hail with this thing. So again, big hail core north of Sulphur, big hail core heading towards Hickory and towards Denny, but the tornado warning itself continues until 5 o'clock, at least as of right now. As you can see, we don't have any new tornado warning that has come out of that, which is good. As you can see, Conrad has picked up a few of those spots of some weak rotation, and let's see what it looks like with reflectivity when you turn that on. Yeah, so at this point now, any tornado potential would be now to the east of Sulphur, so it is now passed over Sulphur and will be kind of in this zone just to the east of Sulphur there, and that again is where our main concern will be going forward. Again, the area of inflow also continues to look not as impressive looking. The just area of shear, the shear itself has gone down in intensity. The coverage area of the shear has also gone down too. Yeah, Conrad has highlighted those little spots of some weak shear. So again, it's still spinning, but it's down a little bit more, which is good. Okay. And even there with that last little scan, as you can kind of see that inflow notch kind of filling in a little bit more too, so not as impressive looking as what it looked like just a second ago.
On the southern part of this as well, but as of right now, it's a good sign, Jack, that we're not seeing, as of right now, this tornado warning getting extended. It is still in effect for 21 minutes, but this severe thunderstorm warning has already been posted. As of right now, still seeing that larger hail, tennis ball sized hail, even ping pong ball sized, could cause a lot of damage there. Gusty winds and the heavy rainfall just coming down all at once. And the thing is, Jack, we're seeing the extreme droughts in many of these areas, and that's also harder for that water to really saturate quickly. It takes a little bit longer for that water to saturate, which in turn could cause a little bit more flooding as well.
Yeah, and we got a little bit more hills in this part of the state right here too. Again, that's why
Yes.
sulfur's so pretty.
Yep.
So again, that's the reason why we're probably looking at more hydro issues going forward with this.
Correct.
But yeah, like Kyron said, we're probably looking at just some flooding concerns out of this too. Right now, no flooding concerns have been, there's no warnings or advisories with this supercell right now. But going forward, we could definitely be talking about that. However, it would be taking it outside of our area. As you can see, the tornado warning itself goes until 5 o'clock, but the severe thunderstorm warning, that one would take it then into more of Pontotoc County, which would be more of Ada's responsibility at that point. So we're kind of right there on the edge of our viewing area with this storm, and so we'll continue to hang with it here for a little bit longer. But at least as Conrad continues to have that lapse keep on going, right now it's looking just less and less and less impressive
Yes.
from the reflectivity standpoint, which is good.
Yes, and it also looks like it is, going southeast a little bit more
Yeah.
at around 20 miles per hour now. It looks like the hail has gone down just a little bit, up to 2 inches now. Still seeing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that and that heavy rainfall that's just continuing to hit these areas here. It is moving southeast around 20 miles per hour. So like you were saying earlier, 30, 45 minutes ago, at least it's not stationary, at least it's still moving, you know?
Yeah. If you could just zoom out actually quite a bit, Conrad, just to kind of show people where things are currently at right now. So there you go with the metro. We never had those storms in the metro. We've got those little cells kind of forming up behind it. There are some little showers just to the south of I-40 there. But most of the activity, as you can see, is actually along this line, and it's actually almost out of our area now at this point. So we're really not looking at this to be lasting too much longer for us. However, like I said earlier on, these storms have been able to form along a leftover outflow boundary from the storms last night. The cold front that we had pushed also through with the storms is actually technically a little bit out ahead of these storms, but it just shows you that cold front was not very strong, and so because of that, it wasn't enough to really be the boundary that the storms chose to form on, and they formed actually on this outflow boundary. And that outflow boundary, was technically a little bit closer to I-40, and so that's why we had these storms kind of bubbling up where they did, from essentially, from Lindsay to Wayne to the Kanawha area towards Holdenville. That's where those storms were able to first get going. And because it's an outflow boundary, a lot of times that means that they will move slower. It's not the front where those usually have a faster movement. So that's the reason why I've been dealing with these storms for a lot of the afternoon. They haven't really traveled very far because that boundary itself is just not moving very much either.
Yep, and Jack here, I just want to give a little quick update here. We're continuing to, see the rotation actually decreasing with the storm.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised if, a warning gets canceled here. But as of right now, another update here, a tornado warning, okay, might get canceled here. We'll see if that does actually get canceled here. So just, continuing to see this weakening here, severe thunderstorm warning with this one in effect though, 5:15 p.m. Still seeing that larger hail, gusty winds as well with the heavy rainfall. National Weather Service has actually just canceled the tornado warning here.
Okay, yep, there it goes. So what this does mean then is that, and actually if we could go to links 2, if you guys wouldn't mind in the back, going to links 2 for a second as I turn something on, you're going to see that we do have, I'm going to turn on my tornado watch area again to kind of show where everybody this is. So these storms are now well within the tornado watch area at this point. We are not sure how far to the west of I-35 we're going to see storms develop from this point. There has only been those little showers, and earlier on, these storms formed pretty fast. So I don't think we're looking at much more of a threat too far to the west of I-35. We'll obviously keep on monitoring things, but this is some good news here for us. As again, not only are these storms now not only non-tornadic, but they're also now moving out of our viewing area, and they'll be moving into more of southeast Oklahoma. Again, we always kind of knew today that there was a chance, as Conrad had in the morning forecast, there was a chance that some of these storms might pop up where they did, kind of in the far southern part of our area, into more of the eastern side of our area, before really then they are able to move on out. They were able to develop a little bit deeper in than what we initially thought, but still, as you can tell, we are not dealing with these storms for very long for us. So I would imagine at some point later on in the evening, we might be looking at some of these storms or some of these watch counties to actually get canceled. So we'll continue to watch these storms right now. The current time is 4:44. We no longer have any tornado warnings, so I will be tossing it back to regular programming, which will continue, and then we'll pick up with our newscast coming in at 5 o'clock, because obviously we have a lot to talk about from last night's storms, especially in the Enid area. But again, we'll go back to regular programming now, and we'll keep an eye on the storms throughout the evening.